Man waiting for me outside the swimming pool. Male. This is pretty mild in the substandards, but hey, it creeped me the fuck out. When I was 18, I went to a college, British college, not university, in a fairly large city. I had to get an hour-long bus into the city, and my lesson plan left huge gaps during the day, sometimes 4 hours at a time. I had a lot of time to kill, so I started taking up swimming at a local leisure center. Pool was pretty busy, but everyone kept to themselves. This day I needed a piss, so I headed to the bathroom and used the urinal. While I was pissing, this dude slides up to the urinal next to me. This is already pretty weird. As most guys know, you don't use the neighboring urinal to someone if others are free. Some people are a bit clueless though, so I didn't think much of it. He then, however, starts brazenly staring down at my dick. I quickly finish up and leave the bathroom without washing my hands. Sorry, fellow swimmers. I carry on my swim unbothered and then get changed. As I leave the swimming pool, I see the guy waiting for me, leaning on the wall outside. He's probably about 5'10", 40 years old, and quite slobby and blokey looking. He doesn't seem the type to go swimming alone to get fit. I am 6'2", thin but fairly confident in myself. As I make my way back to college, he starts following me. This goes on for a mile, so I decide to test him and start crossing busy roads at weird places. Of course, he stays on my trail, having to basically dodge cars to keep up. I decide to forget walking the last mile back and take the busy shuttle bus to the local university that goes close to the college. Again, of course, he follows and gets on. There's not many seats free and he can't sit next to me. I ride for about 5 minutes, ring the bell, then hop off and get the fuck out of there. Bit of a boring end, I guess, but I have no idea of his intentions or how far he would have followed me for. Swimming pool change rooms really should have floor-to-ceiling walls. Hey Reddit, let's not meet. I've got a story for you, after having been binging on these stories in the top category. So, let's go back to the summer of 2009, where I just turned 13. Like any unpopular teenager, I decided to have my few friends with me to spend my birthday party at the swimming pool, maybe 45 minutes away from the area where I live. It's a pretty nice pool, with a kids area and some rapids, which are really more of a lazy river type deal. I used to go there all the time, but I haven't been there since, for reasons you'll understand. Anyways, my friends and I have spent a lot of fun-filled hours in the pool. When the time comes to leave and maybe head back to my house to eat cake and ice cream and all that crap that teens eat at birthdays, as you do, we headed into the showers and get into the changing rooms. The changing rooms at this pool are those stalls which aren't floor-to-ceiling walls, with gaps at the top and bottom. They're about 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters, and there's a bench opposite the door. Now, I won't lie, at the age of 13, I was a really slow changer. But in a group of friends who were mostly girls, including myself, there wasn't much difference. So I'm getting changed. I'm standing there in my towel, just about to start putting my underwear on, when I hear something. It probably would have been avoided a lot of shit if I just look up then, but hey, I was getting changed and I was concentrating. It's when I finally got my underwear on that I look up, and I unfortunately lock eyes with a guy who had his head between the wall and the ceiling. Like literally, he had jammed his head over the wall to look at me, a young teenage girl, changing. And I'm shocked, because what the heck do you do in this situation? He pulls his head back when he realizes I'd seen him, and I feel sick. I have chills up and down my neck as I try to get dressed as fast as I can. My skin crawled. It was absolutely awful. Story does not end there. Fast forward through a few minutes of the fastest change of my life, and now I'm fully clothed with one trainer on and the other in my hand. I've no idea what I'm doing now, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come back, so I put myself on the bench, crouched in a stance I'm sure any action hero would be proud of, Lo and behold, comes back his face, jammed back into this tiny gap. It must have hurt, but apparently sacrifices have to be made in the pursuit of inappropriate staring. This time, though, I'm damn ready. I don't know whether anyone's ever had a hard shoe sole forcibly jammed into their eye and nose twice in a row, but it looked painful. I hope it was bloody painful, at least. That was basically it for him. I put on my shoes, I walked out calmly to my friends, and then we met my parents at the door. I didn't tell any of them, not even when I passed him out in the reception. He didn't see me, but I saw him, and let me tell you, my greatest regret nowadays was that I didn't tell my dad right then and watch him slug the asshole in the face. I regret it so much you have no idea. It should probably bother me more than it does and has, but I think the fact that I never told anyone bothers me the most. All it does now is keep me up at nights like this, and makes me feel a little sick sometimes. Edit. I feel like I should also add, because some people seem to be misunderstanding, it was a unisex changing room. The stall I was in had its back to the back of another stall. This guy who was there was in a stall of his own, balancing on his own bench, looking in. He wasn't just sitting in the middle. That would be kind of stupid. Followed at the swimming pool. Hey guys, I've read the subreddit for about a year now, but never submitted. However, yesterday, I had an encounter which I thought I could post. For reference, I'm 21, male, 6'1", blonde, 175 pounds and straight, just so you can get a mental image for the upcoming story. I have a membership to a gym and swimming pool. It's near where I live, and after work, I'll normally go to the pool for 45 minutes or so to do some laps. The setup of the facility is as follows. Walking in the main doors to the lobby, there is a wall made of entirely glass, which looks onto the indoor swimming pool, for parents to watch children, I'm sure. There is also an emergency exit door from pool to lobby in this wall. The change rooms are on the second floor, up some stairs and down a hallway. Like all change rooms, you walk through the shower area to the pool. Once you're through the shower area, you enter a hall that leads down a set of stairs to the pool. Anyways, yesterday I entered the change room after work to put on my bathing suit and go for a swim. I swam competitively for many years, so I normally wear a jammer, which is essentially like a pair of compression shorts. I'm in my suit and heading for the change room for the showers when I see a man glaring at me. He's fully dressed in boots and an army jacket, and looks to be about 45 years old. He's scruffy and balding, and he's shaking a metal water bottle, so I assume that's some sort of protein shake. I pass him and head into the showers, and he stares at me the entire time I walk by, turning his head to follow me. I shake it off and turn on the shower to get wet before I enter the pool. I'm about to turn the shower off when the man comes into the shower room, still fully dressed, and whirls his head around like he's looking for someone. I figure maybe he's waiting for someone he knows, but as I leave the room, I glance back to see him staring at me again. Now, since I'm heading down to the pool, I think that the ordeal is over. He was fully dressed and didn't look like he had any intention of going for a swim, right? I started swimming, forgetting about the weird encounter, and then, about 10 minutes later, I see someone familiar walking down the stairs, still fully dressed. I resolve to ignore him completely and keep swimming. He goes to the far end of the pool, near the glass wall, which is opposite to where the lifeguards stand. And then, he just stands there and stares at me. At this point, I'm positive he's only looking at me, so I'm about to get out and talk to the lifeguard. However, at that moment, the lifeguard walks across the deck and begins talking to the man. I couldn't hear what she said, but he left through the emergency exit door on the glass wall. Instead of just leaving, though, he sat in the lobby and watched from there. I changed lanes so that I'm no longer in his line of sight, and about 10 minutes later when I look, he's gone. End of story, right? Hell no. 5 minutes after that, who do I see coming down the stairs into the pool with a bathing suit on? You guessed it. At this point, I decided I've had enough, so I jump out of the pool to leave. When I get out, he's standing directly in front of the lane I was swimming in. You're a great swimmer. Yeah. You must practice a lot. Could you teach me? Sorry, I'm leaving. You have a nice body for swimming. At this point, I walked to get my towel and headed up the stairs. The man then shouted, "Oh, you're finished?" at me from the pool deck. I ignored him and headed into the change room to get dressed. About halfway through, who do I see but the same man coming back into the change room? I was more than a little worried at this point, so I tried to maneuver around the lockers to dodge him. However, he saw me and headed towards me. Can I talk to you? What do you want? Can I have your phone number? No. I figured it was going to be something like this. Normally, if a guy asks for my phone number, and it's happened, I nicely tell him that I'm not gay and everything is cool. However, in most instances, the guy hasn't followed me around a swimming pool for 40 minutes prior to asking. No. I walked back to my stuff and lost sight of the man. About 5 minutes later, I catch him leaving out of the corner of my eye. Once I was ready to leave, I walked to the staircase and surveyed to see if the man was still around, and sure enough, he was, sitting and waiting on a bench in the lobby. I called my friend so that I could look busy and darted out of the building, not making eye contact. I spent the half-hour walk home paranoid that I was being followed, and I don't think I'll go back to the pool for a while now. Now, normally, something like this wouldn't bother me, but this really creeped me out. Should I call the pool and inform them? I'd hate to think he goes there often to prey on younger guys. The optimist in me says it's a one-time thing. But honestly, I'm not so sure.